Good evening, this is Mateo from the San Diego Guitar Gym, and today I'm going to show you something really powerful, really awesome trick. Well, strategy, really, it's a 6-step strategy, in fact, to memorize, practice, and really be able to apply and integrate scales into your guitar playing. You see, the thing is, most people practice scales in the wrong way, and they just kind of learn one scale, maybe play it up and down a few times, memorize it, not being able to use it really, and then maybe just try to learn another scale, or maybe another scale, and just kind of learn all these different scales, or I don't know, just try to memorize the notes, or try to memorize music theory concepts, or all these different things, but they don't really know how to apply it to guitar playing. And today I'm going to show you a super simple six-step process to mastering scales and being able to immediately transfer knowing a scale to playing it on the guitar. So I'm going to show you the first step here is to visualize the shape. Now you'll want to look at a diagram, you want to be able to see exactly how it looks, okay, because the shape is going to be very important for you to be able to memorize it on the guitar, okay. This guitar stuff is not, it's mostly like visual, alright, mostly visual representation of where the notes are on the fretboard. So you can just kind of see patterns on the guitar neck. So you want to look at the shape, a little map of the shape. You can sort of see how it's laid out with all the dots and stuff. The notes don't matter, okay. The letters themselves do not matter very much. Just look at the shape of the guitar, and then you'll want to get it under your fingers so that you can sort of see yourself. And one good way to sort of do that is just to play it up and down. For the first few times, you just want to play the scale up and down the scale, just like this. I'm a little bit out of tune, my bad. Okay, I'm sure that's probably what you've been doing so far, is just trying to play the scale up and down. Alright, so now once you get the visual shape down, you've looked at the thing, the picture, and you know where it is on the fretboard. Now it's time to play scale patterns, okay? Now this is not playing it up and down, but instead it's being able to make little shapes out of the scale, okay? So it's gonna sound something like this, for example. Something like that, okay? So it's not really playing it up and down necessarily, but it's kind of like going zigzags and doing cool things. It's kind of hard to stay in tune. I just put on new strings, so it's a little bit So anyway, you can see that I'm not really playing the scales up and down, I'm playing them in patterns, little zigzag, little cool patterns, alright? So when you want to go and maybe look up some patterns on the internet or something, so you look at the shape of it, you memorize the shape, now you get some patterns and you start playing with the patterns, it's really going to tease your brain, okay? It's going to try to challenge and see, do you really know this scale in and out, or do you just kind of know how it looks, but you don't really know the ins and outs of the scale. So it's very important that you know how to navigate between notes, kind of like connecting the dots in various directions and zigzags and cool patterns and stuff. So you want to be able to master the scale shape. Now, after that, alright, you don't want to spend too much time on these first two, okay? You spend, let's say, about 10 to 15 minutes on each one of these things, and then you go to the next one, okay? So 10 to 15 minutes in each section, maybe you go to the next one. So the next one is going to be improvise over a backing track, okay? So now that you've got your scale mastered, you've done some scale patterns, now you want to immediately start to improvise with it. It doesn't matter if you don't have it down perfectly, but you want to immediately start to improvise. So I'm going to put on a backing track and we're going to see how it sounds. Alright, anyway, just some sample silly little soloing and stuff. You want to go ahead and practice this for maybe about 15 minutes, alright? You know, just kind of doing some stuff, whatever. So the things you want to practice really when you improvise are going to be different techniques, okay? So you focus on like doing, I don't know, vibrato slides, string skipping, hammer-ons and pull-offs, tremolo picking, using little whammy bar, you know, bends and stuff like that. Bends, there's a lot of different types of bends, so you want to do like kind of hold up the bend, you know, bend it once, bend it twice, do vibrato, wiggle bend, pre-bends, long bends, short bends, all types of different types of bends. You want to practice dynamics, playing fast, playing slow, playing on the high frets, low frets, high strings, low strings. You want to play quiet, really loud, distortion, non-distortion, all these types of things. And eventually you also want to start like getting rhythm in there, being able to sort of do like cool rhythm patterns and all that cool stuff. So these are the type of things you want to do when you improvise, alright? Now, the next thing you're going to want to focus on is being able to use, okay, again, 15 minutes for this stuff, okay? 15 minutes of phrasing slash riffs. So now that you've practiced improvising, you also need to be able to make cool little riffs, okay? So, so there's a little riff right there. Here's another rhythm. I don't know. So I'm basically taking like a couple of notes in them, just like finding a cool way to play them together real quick in just a small little section and repeating it over and over again, trying to make a riff, okay? So that's different than improvising, because when you're improvising, you're just trying to solo and stuff, okay? Maybe one more. Gotta find something first, right? It's a little bit loud. So anyway, that was all just with the A minor scale, just kind of messing around with the different notes. So it's not important to memorize lots of different scales. You want to practice one scale. Alright, now the thing is that you can play a scale in different parts of the fretboard. Okay, so when you're learning different scales, you're trying to learn like, I don't know, the pentatonic scale, the minor scale, a harmonic minor scale, some exotic scales, and different types of scales. Well, that is different from learning all the positions of one scale. Okay, so you can play the A minor scale here, but you could also play it over here. You know, play here, over here. So you can play the same scale in different parts of the fretboard, and each position actually has its own shape, alright, so, and its name, so a name and a shape. Now these are called the 7 modes of music. We got, you know, Aeolian, Locrian, Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian, and Mixolydian. Now, all these different positions and scales and stuff, they're all one type of scale, one scale. It's all the major scale slash minor scale. It's the same thing. Okay, so you want to learn all the positions of that one scale. Okay, you don't want to try to learn many different types of scales at the same time. You just learn all the positions. Now that's going to take some time. Obviously, there's 7 different scales, 7 different modes, but it's okay, because once you go through this process, it's going to be really easy for you to memorize each one of these scales. Right. Once again, first you got to visualize it, then you have to do scale patterns, then you have to improvise over backtrack solo. Then you have to do some phrasing slash riffs to try to make some cool things out of it, and then you have to, you know, continue to learn all the positions, and eventually you want to be able to move between each scale position. Okay, now this is probably the hardest thing to do, but all you need to do is pick like maybe one string. Okay, so you're gonna play one string. all the way from the 0th fret to, I don't know, the 24th fret. Okay, so alright, so all the way across one single string or two strings. You take two strings, right? Alright, so you take two strings all the way up and down. Alright, that's a great way to sort of combine different scale positions. Alright, or you play just kind of all the way up and down one type, or one little pattern, and you just kind of go from this scale part to that scale part to that next one to the next one to the next one. You just take that one pattern and move it across two strings. Instead of moving it down vertically, you move it across horizontally. Okay, or you know, you can start to play the bottom two strings. You sort of use those two up and down, or you use the middle two strings, and you just kind of go all the way up and down. All right, I'm just kind of explaining very simply how to do this because it's kind of hard to explain. So you just take two strings at a time, and you just kind of play only on those two strings all the way up and down the entire fretboard. Okay, that's going to help you master being able to move between scale shapes. Alright, so that is really the secret to mastering scales. Okay, there's not too much else. Maybe being able to integrate it a little better with all the other skills and stuff, but that's kind of what you do in improvising, just kind of mixing up techniques, bends, dynamics, rhythm. Okay, so this is a 6-step process. One more time. We got visualizing the shape. Alright, looking at the pattern shape on the piece of paper. The next one is doing scale patterns instead of just playing up and down. You got to do patterns. The next thing is improvising over a backing track using different techniques. The fourth is doing phrasing, which is riffs, creating cool little riffs and making them sound really, really sick. And then the last two are going to be learning all the positions all the way up and down the entire fretboard and playing between all the positions up and down the fretboard, not just between only like one scale and you stick to that one shape. And then, you know, later you're like, oh, let's go over here to the next shape over here and just hang out there. No, you want to, you know, like within one single phrase, one single riff, you just kind of go all the way up and down the entire range of the whole fretboard. And that is going to help you really master the scales. All right, so this was, I hope you enjoyed this lesson. If you are struggling to play guitar, if you want to learn how to play guitar, go ahead and sign up for a free introductory guitar lesson in San Diego. You got to be in San Diego, and we'll do a free introductory lesson. Check out what your problems are and check out what your goals are, and then we'll be able to work together. All right, so link is down below. Enjoy. I'll see you around.